So you've closed the sale and now you're hearing that sound. Ding, ding. You're receiving non-stop emails, maybe even text messages from that brand new customer or client that you just closed, and you really haven't had a chance to let the ink dry on the deal. Does this sound familiar? In this video, I'm going to share with you the steps that you can take when you close a difficult customer to ensure that that customer is satisfied with the sale that they've made, but also allowing you to free up time so you can continue to sell and not get sucked into that time dump that challenging customers can often possess. Hi, I'm Shawn Casemore, and I help you learn how to sell more in less time. If that sounds good to you, and who wouldn't it sound good to, make sure you click the like button on this video and click the subscribe button, and you can be notified each and every time I release a new video. So we've all had difficult customers. Sometimes we recognize they may become a difficult customer early on in the sales process. You know, the old saying that a difficult prospect is oftentimes also a difficult customer, or even worse so. What I want to do is step you through some different strategies that you can apply in order to minimize the time spent with difficult customers while ensuring that they're still satisfied. Tip number 1, be as critical of your prospects as they are of you. You know, when we're in sales, a lot of the sales teams and sales professionals that I work with and coach oftentimes tell me they're just chasing that next sale. And they try to ignore how difficult a prospect might be to work with. You know the ones I'm talking about, overly demanding. Maybe they have a lot of questions. Maybe they're even talking down to you and making you feel bad about yourself during the sales process.
And by extra lemon, we mean enough for our waters and then some more.
It's my fault.
That would be lovely.
It's all my fault. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, don't
you are
worry
too
about
kind.
You know, those prospects oftentimes do become very difficult or challenging customers to deal with, but not all of them do. So we want to make sure that during the prospecting process that we're checking in with our prospects to make sure they're a good fit. I like to use language such as, you know, I've got a few questions for you before we move forward because I want to make sure this is a good fit for both of us. Or you might say something like, you know, our product is not for everybody. So if I could just ask you a few questions, I want to make sure this is the best fit for you. What you're really doing in using those questions is setting up a bit of an interview. And then you can resort to asking the kind of questions that will identify to you, is this going to be a challenging customer or not? What are their expectations on response time? How quickly do they expect you to respond if they have questions? Do they expect to have questions during the process? Who's going to be leading when you sign the deal? Who will be your single point of contact as you move forward? If we flush this out early by asking those questions I posed, we're able to be critical of prospects. And for those that might not be a good fit, that might turn into a really challenging customer and be almost impossible for us to satisfy, we can make a decision then, do we really move forward with this prospect or not? Building on point number 1, you want to have several questions at the ready that really allow you to understand, will this be a difficult customer? Now, depending on what you're selling, the market that you're in, so whether you're selling a product or service, whether you're selling something that's more commodity or specialized, the questions will vary. But what I'd really like you to do is think about a really good customer that you've worked with in the past and identify the characteristics, the traits. What was the experience like with that customer? Describe it, identify it, write down some key points. So maybe that customer was somebody that was easy to get a hold of. Maybe they were only reaching out to you every few weeks with questions rather than every day. Maybe they gave you time to respond. Whatever the attributes or characteristics are of that really good customer that you've had. And once you've identified those, now identify the opposite to those. So what I suggest you is write these attributes down on a piece of paper and put good at the top, and then simply put an arrow over and write bad at the top of that list, and simply write the opposite. So if you say that they were patient, then obviously a bad or challenging customer is one that is impatient. If you say that there was a single point of contact, then a challenging customer might be somebody where there's multiple points of contact. As you write down the opposite, what you're really doing is creating a list of the characteristics or, again, attributes of a challenging customer. When you do this, now you can use this column, this bad column, if you will, or maybe it's better to call it a challenging customer column.
Well, no, I'm on the good list, actually.
You can use this then as part of your questions. So you can say, you know, a question for you, who will be the single point of contact on this project or in this sale? If they say, well, there's 6 of us, we've all got different priorities, we're going to be contacting you constantly, that's maybe a sign that, okay, they're falling in the bad category. And it allows you to almost create a checklist so that you can determine early on, is this going to be a good fit or not? Remember, in sales, our goal is to sell. Although we have to be good at managing accounts, because oftentimes there's an opportunity to sell more within an existing account, we don't want to spend all of our time there. And if we take on too many challenging clients, that's what we'll end up doing, and we won't have any capacity left to make a new sale. So make sure you make those 2 lists and then create questions around that challenging customer column that we identified so that you can flesh out, will this be a good fit for them and for you? Number 3, do not, I repeat, do not overcommit. Let's be honest. When we're in sales, we're selling, and we get on a roll, customers start to ask questions, it's easy for us to say, oh yeah, we'll take care of that. Oh, that won't be a problem. That shouldn't be an issue at all. I'll take that back, but I don't see that stopping us from moving forward. And what do we do indirectly? We overcommit. Now, some customers are okay with that. You say, well, let me get back to you, but I think that'll be fine. And if you have to get back to them and say, that's not going to work, some customers are okay with that. But other customers, right? The challenging ones, they're taking notes. Shawn said he'd do this. Shawn said this was okay. Shawn was going to stand up, walk in his hands, and Shawn was going to tell us all these things. Well, let's be honest. If I can't meet those obligations, and this is a challenging prospect, it's going to be a problem once I close them, right? What you want to be doing is paraphrasing at the end of your discussions with each customer, especially those that you deem that might be a challenging prospect here. Paraphrase what the next steps look like and what you're committing to. That allows an opportunity for them to say, oh, but you missed this. And at that point, you can re-clarify. You raised a good point. I am going to look into that, but at this point, I can't make a commitment. If you paraphrase at the end of your discussions with your prospect, especially if they're a challenging one, it's very important. What you do is you flush out the expectations for them as well as for yourself. And if anything is missing, it's the opportunity to bring it forward. And it really protects you later on. If they're making a demand that was never committed to, you can say, well, hold on a second. I don't recall us discussing this. And they can say, well, you mentioned it in the meeting, and say, well, at the end of the meeting, I always paraphrased. I don't recall bringing that up.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Sorry, I have no recommendation of that.
No.
Jack
No.
Stack.
No idea.
I don't recall that transaction. You guys have any milk?
Okay, so it kind of protects you and sets you up for success, and again, allows you to flush out these challenging customers and make sure that their expectations are really aligned around what they're going to receive once you ink the deal. If you're enjoying these tips, make sure you click that like button, and you can comment below on what strategies have worked for you to deal with challenging customers. You can also click the subscribe, hit it, smash it, tap it, whatever you tend to do in order to stay up to date on all these new videos. I typically release one about every single week. Now, let's get back into it. Number 4, be proactive about communication as soon as you ink that deal, as soon as they sign. Okay, as soon as they send back that PO, whatever your process is, be proactive about your communications. I often suggest to sales professionals that I work with, set up some automation, right? You can use different CRM systems like HubSpot or Salesforce. There's all sorts of different variations. And you can set up automated emails that happen to be sent once you do certain things within CRM. So you might say, once I click this button, boom, this email gets sent. It's a welcome email. It tells my new customer what to expect next. In my experience, what often happens is prospects that aren't that challenging quickly become challenging when they're really not sure what the process looks like. So you show up, you ink the deal, you move on to the next one, they hear nothing, maybe for a day, maybe for a week, maybe for a month, maybe for a year. And then suddenly they start to get impatient. And by the time they reach out, now they're a challenging customer because they're not happy.
I am not a happy camper.
So if we can set up proactive communication, which you can even automate using your CRM if you have one, okay? If you don't have one, create templates, put it in your calendar to remind yourself to send these on certain times and days following inking the deal. Then you're keeping the customer, this new customer, in the loop, which means there's a less of a chance that they'll become challenging and upset, more of a chance you'll be keeping them up to speed on what's to happen next, and therefore freeing up your time of dealing with last minute questions. If you've done everything we've talked about so far and your customers are still all over you, they're being challenging because they're making a lot of demands of you and your time, don't be scared to reorient them around what the process is and allowing them and you to move forward. Or we don't want to lose a sale. And oftentimes there's a lot of things we can do proactively that reduce the amount of challenging customers that we sign up. And it really reduces any stress those customers carry, which means they're less of a challenge to deal with. But if you've done these things and it is not working, you need to reach back out to the customer, set up a call, set up a meeting, say, look, we should go back through what these next steps are, what we committed to you, and just make sure we're all on the same page. Don't be scared to do this. If you lose the sale, you lose the sale. I know you don't want to hear that, but it is better that we walk away from something that is creating us and our organization agony than continue to try and move it forward, because I can almost guarantee you it's only going to get worse. Okay? So this is a last-ditched effort to salvage the sale, to set clear expectations, and to make sure you're clear on what that customer, that new customer, is looking for so you can satisfy it and be able to move forward. Okay, if you want to be successful in sales and really stay on top of all of these different things we've talked about in this video, from setting up automation to proactively communicating to new customers to making sure you're sticking with your prospecting activities to bring new customers into your pipeline, you need a tool, a method to stay on track. That's why I created what I call the 30-day sales action planner. Simple document you can use, walks you through all the steps that you need to follow day by day, week by week, and ultimately will allow you within 30 days to put yourself on track to the best year you've ever had. So click that link down below, grab your copy. It's free, there's no obligation, and you can put it to work. You can use it in PDF form, you can print it off however you prefer, but make sure you click the link, grab your copy today. One of the ways in which you can deal with challenging customers is to work on your influence. It's to be more influential. What that allows you to do is early on, calm that challenging customer down. Make sure they're clear on what's going to happen and they're feeling good about those next steps. So make sure you watch this video next to learn more about how you can be more influential in sales. And until next time, let's get out there and go sell something. Talk to you again soon. Take care.